While it is not the most glamorous topic, normative political theory is extremely important to current society. It presents higher ways of thinking, but it can be of value to everyone, not simply philosopher kings. That's a Platonian joke you will understand soon enough. Basically, normative political theory is a roundabout way of expressing how things should be or how we think they should be. In a way, it is expressed as a utopian ideal, demonstrating humans' natural tendencies with each other and the world around them. Like many other things, there are a lot of different ways to understand normative theory, and just as many philosophers who do so. Here is a basic definition, expressing that normative theory is a value-based argument related to how the world ought to be. This means that philosophers focus on how they see the world, people, and just about everything else in existence. Normative theory says that the current way things work, or empirical theory, is not the ideal way in which they should work. Instead, it focuses on a theoretical way for humans to be better and to act in the best way they can. This includes theories about human nature, the nature of the world, and how communities affect the individual. Whether or not you feel that normative theory plays a role in your life, it has influenced you in one way or another, affecting your morals or your specific worldview in more ways than you think. I'm sure you're sitting and thinking, well, it is all fine and dandy for people to sit up in their ivory towers and think all day long, but what does this have to do with me, or my livelihood, or my family? Here's how it can apply to you. Believe it or not, normative theory permeates every area of most people's lives, including those things that give them societal ideas, motivation, an idea of justice. Without such theory, there would be no political values and no approach to goals or living for most people. While you think that what matters to you is of your own volition, it follows the pattern of one philosopher or another who values that thing in their basic ideals or their idea of human nature. No matter what gives you societal norms, motivation, or your morals, each thing depends on these main ideas. At some point, they were originated by a philosopher, questioning the meanings of these things, and from them, they were passed down to you. To understand normative theory's role in society, it is best to analyze Aristotle's ideas. Here, he cites how societies are organized to be like communities, where people are motivated by what is good, hopefully attempting to help each other achieve a common goal. He believes that humans are driven to create such societies to come together, a rather optimistic opinion on societies as a whole. This idea serves as the basis for almost everything in a country's government, social programs, and overall interaction among its citizens. Most people agree with this idea, striving to make some sort of relationship with their fellow people, something they would not have done without Aristotle's idea. While most people may not read Aristotle's dense political theory, they may hear a quotation of his, or paraphrased version, still understanding his main idea and allowing it to change how they view the world. Political theory even explains what makes us do the things we do. Rawls expresses here that it is in our best interest to give all people equal rights, as our group could easily be the next to become disenfranchised. Because of our own personal concerns, we in turn worry about the well-being of others in order to ensure our own success. Likewise, some people focus on money as it secures their position in society, and others focus on family as those are the people who are their support system who help them survive the cruel world. Regardless, your motivation was given to you through how you perceive the world, which was at one point or another influenced by those who think about the meaning of life. It seems like a point in history, but these philosophers' ideas have an incredible effect on your life, whether you are aware of it or not. Take a look at this take on the trolley problem. Instead of valuing other people's lives, you now question which position you are in, making it apparent that you have to value every person for self-preservation, which seems to be the most important idea to Rawls. Finally, morality is something that is presented through the ideas of such philosophers. Rousseau expresses that a nation's morality is expressed not only through its own views, but also how it interacts with items and with other nations. This is the same for any person operating by their own morals. Again, every person acts based on what they think is right, which is derived from what motivates them. Whether a person be focused on themselves, others, or believe that the world is wholly corrupt, these ideas were derived from those of some philosopher at some point. It is impossible to separate these ideas from the philosopher, as it is impossible to separate morality of a nation and the objects of its esteem. Normative theory is not the most obvious source of explanation for many, but it would be a mistake to say that it does not influence any person's life. Instead, it's quite the contrary. It influences everyone's lives to an extent that is hard to believe for many. So now ask yourself, were your values, motivations, and societal expectations ever really yours? Or were they just the revived ideas of a dead philosopher? Oh, and as for that Philosopher Kings joke, you could say that it's not just for the top of the class, but it's for everyone who works towards helping the city.